I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you my recipe for the perfect buffalo wings. Now, my recipe, they're going to be oven baked. They're not going to be deep fried. I don't like to deep fry a whole lot. I mean, I like to be able to eat something and not feel so guilty after I'm done eating it. I like to really enjoy my food. So these are going to have everything a good buffalo wing should have, which is an incredibly deep, golden, crusty crust on the outside, but without any guilt. So I'm not going to show you all the ingredients you're going to need because there are really not many. This is the first step, and I'll show you what you're going to need for the first step, which is just, of course, you're going to need your wings. Go to the butcher and ask them for some good buffalo wings. And you're gonna, for some good wings, you're gonna need some all-purpose flour, and this is my secret ingredient, a little bit of baking powder. Now, I'm gonna just explain this to you really quickly. I don't wanna babble about it for hours. The baking powder, when you bake with baking powder, it kind of gives a lightness to your food, am I right? To your cake, or to your cookie, or to your cupcake, or whatever. It makes everything really light and sort of fluffy. Now, the baking powder, I found that a little bit of that, when it coats the wings, it kind of does the same thing. It makes it light and crispy, and that, of course, drives the skin to get as crispy as possible. So that is my secret ingredient to making really good buffalo wings at home without a deep fryer or any of the hassle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my wings, all my wings, in this big bowl. That's one. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of this baking powder and mix it with some flour. I'm just going to mix it together. Now, I'm not going to salt my wings now because salt draws out moisture in things, which we normally want when we're sauteing or something like that. But because I'm driving this to get as crispy as possible, I'm not going to salt these wings until they come out of the oven, which I'll talk about later. But for now, I'm just going to sprinkle these with some of the flour and the baking powder mixture. And you want to just toss and toss and toss until every little wing is coated. You want to make sure it is definitely coated with the flour, but you don't want so much flour that, you know, it's too powdery and it's not gonna work as well. So just with patience, toss everything together. That looks about right. You really don't need a whole lot. Now this is the second very important part. Now you have to bake these over a rack. Now this is my regular roasting rack that I just roast like this, but I'm flipping it around. Whoops. I'm flipping it around, so the wings are going to be sitting on this rack, which means all the air is going to circulate around the wings and they're going to get super crispy, so the bottom doesn't get soggy. But we're not going to bake them yet. What we're going to do now is put them really flat, just like so, on this baking rack, and then we're going to put them in the fridge, which I'll tell you about in just a second. Last one. I'm going to make sure they're all skinned side up. And they're touching each other, but that's fine. As long as it's one layer, you're good to go. Now, this is one of the biggest, most important steps. I'm gonna put these in the fridge for about 2 hours, and what I'm looking for is for the wings to completely dry out. So that means that the flour is gonna stick to those wings really, really well, and then I'll show you the next step. I took my wings out of the fridge. They've been in there for a couple of hours to just dry out. Now you want to get your oven preheated to 450. You want it super, super hot. And now I'm going to liberally drizzle some olive oil all over the top, just so that the skin kind of has some help crisping up. And that, I mean, you only need about maybe a quarter cup for all of these wings, and that's a lot of wings here. So I'm going to just put this into the oven at 450 for about a half hour or until they are completely lovely golden brown and crispy, and then we'll rotate and I'll show you the next step. My wings baked for about 35 minutes at 450, and they're really crispy on one side, but now you have to flip them in order for the other side to be super crispy as well. So go ahead and flip each one. Now I'm just going to drizzle a touch more of olive oil on this other side. I'm going to put them back in the oven at 450 for about 25 to 30 minutes or until the second side as crispy as the first side. The other side baked for about, I would say, 30 minutes or so, and now they're completely crispy on both sides and they are ready to just be plated and ready to eat. And that's it. You can hear how crispy they are, and remember, we didn't have to bother with a deep fryer. You don't have to bother with all that. You can just use this method next time you're ready to make wings, and I guarantee it, everybody's going to love them. They're quick and easy. They're really cheap to make. Nothing's cheaper than wings. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed spending time with me. To get this recipe and others, go to www.laurainthekitchen.com, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Did you really think I wasn't gonna eat any of the wings? Have we met? You know who I am? I'm leaving the food behind.